Hello YouTube! Today I want to talk about street photography, to be more specific, night street photography. Share some tips as well, let you know how I shoot my photos. Tip number 1. Rain is your friend. It is known that rainy streets will give you some vibe. There's something magical in it. Anyway, if you add some fog to it, that's just like, so good. Fog is your friend because it's gonna give you nice haze. Cinematic. Foggy, rainy nights, they're the best. If you have one, don't even hesitate, just go and shoot. The reason for that, you have lots of reflections, and that means a lot of light. The more light coming into your sensor, the easier it is for your camera to capture a photo. It's just in general, you don't want to look at the dark photo, I guess. Anyway, tip number 2, it's actually connected to tip number 1, because if you're going out in the rain, you need to make sure your camera is weather sealed. Or, if you're not sure whether your camera and the lens is weather sealed, I would suggest just go on Google, type it in and check it out, because it's gonna save you a lot of headache and rice dipping. Here's a quick list for Sony APS-C cameras that we have weather sealed and not weather sealed. As well, here is a list for a full frame. Again, this is not a full list, but these are one of the most popular cameras that I've seen people use around. And if you don't have weather sealed camera, don't give up just yet. I have a solution for you. This is my setup at night. It's just a plastic pack with a rubber band. Do it at your own risks. Downside for this setup, it's hard to see what you're shooting at, so forget about the viewfinder. You're not gonna stick your eyeball through the plastic bag. But with the LCD screen, it's still a bit hard to see, and in my case, I had a problem with the plastic bag as well with the focus points, because the plastic bag would touch the screen and the screen would register it as a touch, and it would start focusing on whatever area it touched on, which was a bit of annoying. So if you want, you can go through your settings and like turn off the touch screen. All right, tip number 3. Tip number 3. Long exposures. We can't talk about night photography without long exposures, and to a lot of surprise, it's pretty easy to do. I've seen a lot of good reactions to my long exposure photos, and I'm gonna teach you real quick. It's super easy to do. All you gotta do is find a spot where you can lay your camera so it will stay stable. A lot of people say that you do need a tripod. I say it's nice to have it, it's very nice to have it, but if you don't have it, it's completely fine. You'll still be able to get some pictures, and that's what I did. I don't carry my tripod with me because I just don't want to carry the weight on my back when I'm walking around. I want to go light. In my case, I put it on a concrete rail and just let it stand there, hit the shutter. A lot of people say that it's better to use trigger, but I didn't have a problem without a trigger. Again, because it's very stable on a concrete. So the main thing is don't touch your camera. Don't shake your camera. That's kind of the thing. All right, tip number 4. And this tip is not specifically for night photography. It's like for photography in general. And it is look up. Yeah, simple as that. I've seen a lot of good shots of just camera pointing straight up. And I don't know, it's something unusual with it. I really love it, but yeah, that's your tip number 4. All right, tip number 5 is gonna be your camera settings and your ISO specifically. Hear me out. I love talking about camera gear and how great they are. Full frames, 12 megapixel sensors for more light coming in per pixel, dual native ISO, but listen.
So we don't have the capacity.
So we have to work with what we have, and don't be afraid to crank your ISO. And I know what you say, it's gonna be noisy and yada 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 yada. Listen, it's better to have a noisy picture than don't have a picture at all. A lot of pictures with tons of noise still end up on Instagram and you can't see them because you're this tiny small screen, like you don't need that. Bonus tip is shoot as much as you can. We don't shoot on film, we don't have to count our shots. Put it on burst mode and burst it all out of the way, fill up your SD card and find the best shots. Again, we have a privilege of digital cameras, so go ahead and use it. That's it. Let me know your thoughts. Was it helpful to you? Is there more you want to add? comment down below, and cheers.